What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pub Sports Radio Baseball Show. My name is Jose Bouquet, and of course, joined alongside me is my good buddy Andrew Santangelo. Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well today. It's Friday, weekend's about to come along. Work week is over with, and now we get to sit here and end it with talking baseball.
Yeah, so we appreciate everyone watching us. Thanks for everyone. We're gonna be talking some a little goat talk today, talking about best second baseman of all time, some of our favorite second basemen, and we'll get in and out of here like we said around 30 minutes. It'll be a good time. So, if you guys have any comments, you want to drop in there, we'll show them on the screen. Any questions? And if you want to
Well,
suggest your own second baseman, throw a comment in there. What's up,
so
Andrew?
I'm gonna say, or give us your favorite second basemen because there's been a lot, obviously, in a lifetime. So I'm sure there's some more favorites out there besides ours.
Yes, of course. But before we get into this, Andrew, let's talk about our sponsor, Built Bars. Andrew, go to builtbars.com and use promo code PUBSPORTS. That is right, Pub Sports for 20% off your first purchase of Built Bars. That is builtbars.com, BUILTBARS.com. Built Bars, 20% off your first purchase with promo code Pub Sports. All right, Angel, let's get right into it. Let's do our honorable mentions first because, like we said, we opened this up a little bit. We opened it up to more, our favorite second baseman don't necessarily have to be a GOAT as in great all-time second baseman, but I think these guys are just, captivating, and some of them do definitely have the resume for the GOAT second baseman. But we know time's short. We're here to make some money, get some people in and out. Talk about some second baseman. I'll start off, Andrew. My number one, I think I'll start off with my homer pick. One of the best second basemen of the modern era, Dustin Pedroia, hitting 299 for his career, 1,800 hits, 140 home runs, 725 RBIs. Injuries kind of derailed him in the later of his career, but he won an MVP, won a Rookie of the Year. It's tough to do that as a second baseman. So I just wanted to mention him. He is one of the best of our generation, especially in the modern era.
Man, without question, he was a guy I always thought was fun to watch, especially on the American League side. As a National League guy, you kind of look over and try to find guys on the other side, and he was definitely one I'd pinpoint. And one of the reasons why I tuned into some Red Sox games is Dustin Pedroia. And I know, I don't know where you are, but like I always liked watching him more than like David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez. Pedroia was always my guy from an outsider standpoint that I loved watching, and he's a guy you always heard. He played the game hard. He always had a fun swing to watch and everything, and it looked like he was one of those guys that never took a play off, and it's a shame to see the way his career kind of took an injury turn and kind of ended it that way.
Yeah, I agree. All right, give me one of yours. We'll go back and forth on these honorable mentions.
Well, since you're going Homer first off, I'll start with my Homer, and that's got to be Chase Utley.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely along those lines, Dustin Pedroia, a guy that never took a play off. He's probably one of, if not the most beloved Philadelphia Phillies athletes of my lifetime. Everyone knows how passionate of a fan base we are, and if this says anything, when he had his return to Citizens Bank Park, he had a grand slam, and the fans gave him a standing ovation. I don't know if anyone would ever think Philadelphia would do that for an opposing player, but that's how much he meant to the city. Some of his stats he finished with was a slash line of 275, average 358 and 465 with 259 home runs, 1,025 RBIs, and a 64.4 WAR. He had one of the greatest postseason, or one of the best World Series, tying Reggie Jackson's home run record when Phillies played the Yankees. Unfortunately, he lost that one, but he was also a World Series champion. So definitely one of my favorites of all time. And kind of like Pedroia, too. It was a shame to see his career kind of take a turn from the injury bug as well.
Next one, Rod Carew. Definitely has the resume to be on this list, honestly. He is a hit machine, Andrew. 7 AL batting crowns. Is that good, Andrew? 7 times leading the AL in batting average?
Yeah, that's quite the resume right there.
18 All-Star game appearances, an MVP in 1977, and a career batting average of 328 with 3,000 hits. Obviously deserves to be on this list. One of the greatest second basemen of all time. Is the greatest second baseman in Minnesota Twins history. Has a lot of records there. One of the best average hitters of all time. Not a power guy. An all-time stance too. If you ever go see a stance, a little like awkward, like the hands behind your back thing. It's nice. It's good. I like it.
Yeah. Next one for me would be a guy that was on the Hall of Fame ballot this year, as we mentioned last time we were on the show. Was that Monday or Tuesday? It's been a long week, but it's Jeff. It's Jeff Kent. That's my next pick. Longtime Giant there. Had a 300 average, 371, 518 slash line, 216 home runs, 850 RBIs, 33.0 WAR. Just an incredible guy. Again, probably one of the better ones of our lifetime. When he's 32, won the NL MVP there in 2000. So just a guy there, like you mentioned, another one that has the accolades to be on here, just not going to be in our top three.
Yep. I'll go another one quickly. I have Ryan Sandberg, another little throwback, Cubs legend, Gold Glove and Silver Slugger contender. Every year he was out there. 10-time All-Star, 9 Gold Gloves, like you said. The Phillies actually traded him to Chicago, shockingly enough. The Phillies doing some good stuff there. NL MVP in 1984 and 7 Silver Sluggers. Greatest second baseman in Cubs history. So deserves to be on this list as well.
Yeah, hey, and he managed the Phillies too. That didn't work out too well, but he was
That's a real shame right there. It's a real shame. I'll give you one more, Andrew.
one more. That's a tough call.
Okay, well,
even though second base might not be the deepest talent wise, it is one of my favorite. Player wise.
Okay, I have a couple more still. I was gonna give you one more back to back here. I'll give you Jose Altuve too. Jose Altuve deserves to be on this list. He is the best second baseman of the last couple of years, last 5-6 years. The Astros cheating scandal has definitely taken a hit on his resume, but he used to be that small, lovable second baseman that all baseball fans loved, and now he's turned into one of the least liked players in baseball.
Yeah, it's a shame because I did like him before that whole thing went down.
Same.
But as I give you my last one, I also have a question for you. But instead of going into detail, I'm just going to give you two names, two guys I loved watching growing up: Placido Polanco and Brandon Phillips.
Okay, yeah, that dude, BP, love Brandon Phillips. Great swing and a batting stance too.
And then when he retires, when it's all said and done, he started his career at second base, but last couple of years he's taking a turn. But when he retires, he could be the best second baseman of our lifetime, if you count him as a second baseman. But do you consider DJ LeMahieu a second baseman?
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say that. DJ LeMahieu, definitely. Weird career, such a weird career. All those years in Colorado, and then just goes to New York and just takes off, which is interesting. But yeah, he'll. He maybe not be a GOAT candidate, but he, as modern players go, he's one of the better second basemen. I have 3 more quickly for you. One of them is just my all-time favorite second baseman that's not on the Red Sox. First, we'll go with Craig Biggio. Hall of Famer, should be on this list. He's not a Hall of Famer. I think he's all-time snub, but whatever. Roberto Alomar. Roberto Alomar also deserves to be on this list. And then my last one, biggest forearms in the league. Every year he was in the league. Dan Uggla, 235 home runs with forearms the size of quads. Dan Uggla's my guy. I love Dan.
It was a Philly killer. I hated playing him.
Love Dan Uggla. I especially like when the announcers, and then he hits a home run, the announcer's just like, and that's Dan Uggla. So Dan Uggla. I like his and Robinson Cano too. I think we kind of mentioned him, but he should be on this list too.
Who did you say before Uggla?
Roberto Alomar.
That was the Blue Jay, right? He was. Yeah, okay.
I believe so.
That's what I thought.
Okay, so let's get into the top 3 here, Andrew. A tight knit group. I actually told some coworkers of ours, Andrew. I guess ours is definitely a thing I can say. But I told them what we were doing, and they were like, "Oh, so who's the GOAT first baseman?" I was like, Lou Gehrig probably. Who's the GOAT catcher? Johnny Bench. People were like, "Why are they always these old dudes? These old dudes putting up numbers." And guess what, Andrew? We're starting off with one of those old dudes.
You have to.
We have to, because the numbers are just too comprehensive. It's honestly ridiculous. Rogers Hornsby is our number 1. He's starting off this second baseman GOAT discussion. 127 WAR. I believe that is good, Andrew. If you could double check that,
that's
search.
That is incredible. I don't think I've ever even heard. You don't even hear of anyone that good anymore.
It's so funny. Career batting average of 358, which again is absurd. That is ridiculous. He hit 400 4 times in a season. including one of 424, which he finished second in the MVP that year, Andrew. I just want to remind that. Second in the MVP. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, his best year wasn't even his MVP years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Shout out to him. Shout out to Sam, by the way, for commenting. He wanted to chime in. Michael Young, all-time second baseman, I guess. I remember as a third baseman, but yes, he did pop around. And shout out to Bob Lee Swagger for talking, baseball. And we're talking Jays. Everyone loves the Jays. Shout out to you, Bob Lee.
Especially after the offseason they're having.
I know, right? So Hornsby, he played from 1915 to 1926 with the Cardinals, 12 years, and played with the Giants 1 year, took a trip with the Boston Braves, a couple of years with the Cubs, 29 to 32, and finished with the St. Louis Browns. Like I said, 1,584 RBIs, 301 home runs. Statistically, it's absolutely absurd. It's absurd what he did. It will never be matched again, for obvious reasons. But my man played through the live ball era and the dead ball era, Andrew. And I want to give you his stats before I pass it to you. Last dead ball season, 1919, Andrew. My man hit 370, 431 on base percentage, 94 RBIs, 9 home runs, 218 hits. That's an okay season, By our standards of all this offensive baseball, that's fine, I guess, Hitting 370 is great. 1921, Andrew, we get fully into this live ball era. We're going ahead hitting 397, 21 home runs, up from 9, a 45-8 OBP. Just think of that, 45%, 46% on base percentage, basically. That's ridiculous right there. 126 RBIs and 235 hits. That's absolutely absurd. He's one of the best hitters ever. He has triple crowns, and it's pretty comprehensive how good he is.
Yeah, and that first thing, I mean, it's credible when you're doing this research and you find out his one Triple Crown year, he didn't even win MVP. Imagine winning Triple Crown and not winning MVP.
And Miguel Cabrera almost took a page out of that book. Miguel Cabrera,
yeah.
That was fun.
He almost did. Another incredible thing I thought of, and this has nothing really to do with the stats wise, but for a guy this good, how do you play with that many teams in so short amount of time?
Well, apparently he was an asshole, Andrew. Apparently he was not a well-liked guy.
I get that, but it's you gotta sometimes go with it there when you got talent like that.
It's funny, Andrew. In 1925, when he was on the Cardinals, still he just fucked around and became the Cardinals manager too. He just said, let me. Branch Rickey, a guy who we'll talk about later in this episode, got fired, or he had a falling out with him, and then he was like, you know what, fuck this, let me manage this team. And, they didn't make the playoffs that year, Andrew, but under Hornsby, they went 64-51.
Not bad.
Bad at all. It's not bad.
But no, I thought when I was looking at his stats too, I mean, obviously the power wasn't there every year in terms of this comparison, but look at these numbers. It almost reminds you of Barry Bonds. Honestly, he just constantly led the league in all the offensive statistics, honestly. And like you already mentioned, all base percentages and stuff, and that's like Barry Bonds on base percentage right there. That's just a guy that's constantly feared. And I mean, obviously we weren't alive for that, so we don't know if they were walking him in surprising situations. Like sometimes Bonds would get intentionally walked with the bases loaded. That way you're not giving up a grand slam or a 3-run double or something like that. But I'm sure it was kind of something similar in that sense. And that's what just makes this guy incredible. And I think it was a pretty easy pick for number one here from the multiple Triple Crown winner MVPs, like you mentioned, and everything. And then to finish your career with a 358 average. I mean, that's tough to beat.
Yeah, that's I can't agree with you more.
And you already said it. How many times he hit over 400? We don't even see. When was the last time somebody even hit 400?
Shout out to Ted Williams, 404. Bob Lee Swagger, thank you for your question about the AL East teams. I'll give you a ranking real fast. We'll break it up here. I have Blue Jays 1, obviously. Shout out to the Jays. Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, Rays, Orioles off the top of my head.
I'm going to counter just a little bit. I think Yankees are still slightly ahead of the Blue Jays. With the back end of that bullpen, I think they have a little advantage in. Then I'm going to go so I go Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Rays, Orioles.
Okay. All right. Moving on. So, Andrew, I want to tell you about my man Rogers here, about him leaving the Cardinals. There we go. So Rogers, at the end of his last year with the Cardinals, they won the World Series. He gets to the mountaintop, all that good stuff. He becomes like a free agent or whatever you want to call it, because they didn't even have free agency back then. His contract ran up, and the Cardinals ownership was kind of just sick and tired of his shit. They were like, we've paid you the most money in baseball history. He was the highest paid player ever up until that point. And they were like, you know what? And he wanted 3 years. They counted it. Here's 1 year with the highest salary ever, and we'll just roll like this. And in that 1 year, Andrew, they included a stipulation where my man Rogers Hornsby could not go to the horse track and bet on the ponies anymore, because he was a fucking addict to the point where it interfered his baseball. And literally the team wanted him to not go and bet on the ponies anymore. They wanted to get him off of there as soon as possible. And he was like, no. So they traded him. They traded him basically because of that. They couldn't get the contract, and he wanted those ponies, man. So shout out to all-time gambler Rogers Hornsby.
And he's in the Hall of Fame, right? But Pete Rose isn't.
Well, the ponies, obviously. There's a difference. There's a big difference.
Yeah, but part of it they do say, I know there's a difference, but part of it they do say is because gambling's against the sport.
Yeah, it's tough. Sam chimes in with his Yankees, Jays, Rays, Red Sox. Just wants to hurt my feelings, Sam. Don't appreciate that. I appreciate Rogers Hornsby, everything he did. He'll obviously be number one. Like we said, the numbers are just too good. But do you have any final thoughts on good old Rog here?
No, I think we're good.
All right, let's move on to I think the coolest second baseman of all time, Andrew. This man had swag, he had style. Could call a hell of a baseball game too at the end of his career after. Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan, RIP to a legend, recently just passed away. Leader, not really the leader, I guess I could say, not the clubhouse leader, but he was the statistical leader for the Big Red Machine in their back-to-back, won MVP both of those years. Started off with his career at Houston. I didn't actually know this. Started in Houston, played a lot of years there. They fixed his swing. One of his teammates actually told him, like, you got to fix your back arm. It's hanging up too much or something of the sort, which made him, do the whole chicken wing and start moving his arm back and forth while he's hitting. That became his thing. Everyone knew him by two World Series back-to-back, like we said, with the Big Red Machine, 2 MVPs. If you want to call this modern, postmodern, I know we have not dedicated each era of baseball to a certain era, but he's the best recent second baseman we've seen.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that, depending on what area you put him in. I was a little surprised you put him second, honestly. I had him third on my list, if I'm being honest. But
I mean, this isn't my for sure list. I'm just giving.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going in order of your list.
I'm just giving you on the list.
But no, 10-time All-Star, 2-time MVP winner. Again, another guy that actually went all over the baseball team world. Another guy that, for how good of a player he was, kind of traveled around after the Reds era. I mean, he goes to the Giants, Phillies, A's, 2-time World Series winner, another Hall of Famer, 268 home runs. Pretty good for a second baseman. That position never really has that kind of power figure to him.
Unless you're Dan Uggla.
I mean, how many home runs did you say hit? How many home runs did you say hit?
Well, hold on, let me pull it up.
I don't think it was that high. I don't even think
235, dude.
I was gonna say, I don't even think it was 268.
235. He's right there. Big Dan Uggla. Look at these forms, Andrew. You know.
Oh no, he is. I'm not saying he doesn't. But
Dan Uggla. I just need to work out my forearms strictly, just only my forearms, so I can get like Dan Uggla. Dan Uggla, teach me your forearm workouts, please. I know you're watching.
Yes, I mean, might as well get his workout routine too, right?
Yeah.
But back-to-back MVP winner. I mean, his WAR is incredible. I think when we got to go back and do the Red Sox game, it was cool getting to watch a game of his and go through that whole thing. So again, you mentioned you don't think he was the leader. I think he was partially the leader of that Reds team.
Yeah, I just think, Johnny Bench, the catcher, is that traditional role back then. I think he was more the clubhouse leader, but, getting the MVPs, being like the face of the Big Red Machine, definitely could, fault you up to that point too.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And like I said earlier in the beginning, he's a very good broadcaster too. If you're listening to the podcast audio, you'll hear an introduction of his with him probably calling a game or two. I'll put in here. It's a great broadcaster. I believe he was the voice of the games too. If I don't remember, I can't remember.
I think so.
So yeah, I mean Joe Morgan, all time guy. So R.I.P. to him. And I think we can move on to our third and final nominee, someone who we'll talk about a little further next week. That's a little tease because we'll have a special guest on to talk about this man.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, you're right. I'm all messed up. Time to flat circle. But if you're listening to the podcast, like we said, I'll put the interview at the end here. But it's Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson. We're putting him at second base. Jackie Robinson. This is the craziest thing I saw when I was doing my research on him. Guess what his Hall of Fame percentage was? To get into the Hall of Fame. How many people or what percentage do you think he got in by?
Like the total percent? I'm gonna go. It's gotta be 100.
77.5%.
So he barely got in.
Fucking insane.
Because it's Kurt Schilling missed it by 16 votes with 71%. So that means he must have only got it by like 5 or 6 votes.
Crazy. Jackie Robinson, we all know him. We all love him. Breaks the color barrier in baseball. The only person to have a number retired league-wide. 42. Everything I mean, we don't really have to lay out a statistical case for Jackie Robinson.
Not at all.
It's really more like, above baseball kind of stuff. That's why, we're going to have that guest on here in 2 weeks to talk further about his life and everything that he went through. But, he deserves to be on this list, like we said. I don't know where I'm going to rank him, to be honest. I think I'll struggle to pick between him, Morgan and Hornsby. I think it'll be tough, but 311 hitters, 734 RBIs, and 137 home runs in 10 years in the majors. Won a World Series, one Rookie of the Year. You can't really say enough about Jackie Robinson.
No, and you mentioned how his numbers retired league-wide. On top of that, he has a day in each season to remember him, and that's how incredible it is. And that day, everyone wears the number 42 across the league. I think that's something special that's probably never going to go away and should never go away.
Yeah, he's a Mount Rushmore face of baseball for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But yeah, like you said, the statistics only go so far with him. And I think what he was able to do in such a short MLB career, like if he would have had the longevity of other guys and had the opportunity for longer, like what his career could have totaled to would have been a lot different, in my opinion. And it would have been up right there with a lot of other numbers because he was going to be a top-notch home run hitter all the time, but he had a widespread game, used his game all over from speed and hits.
Yeah, Sam's right too, by the way. 77.5. A lot of racist people still definitely had votes back then.
Do you know how many ballots he was on?
I did not check. But I can give it a quick baseball reference search.
Because I know he got inducted in 62, so I was just wondering if he played till 56, so it probably would have only been 1 or 2 ballots.
Yeah, so he was inducted in 62, and he was on 124 of the 160 ballots. So yeah, but no, it's just crazy that was such a low number, and it just really made me feel like, damn, baseball's Hall of Fame is so fucked up, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, imagine if he would never got in because of that.
Yeah, just but yeah, I can't even imagine. But let's get into the ranking, Andrew. Let's get into this rankings, Andrew. Who you got, Andrew? Who's your 1, 2, and 3 here for the best second baseman of all time?
We want to go 1 to 3, or are we going 3 to 1?
3 to 1.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with Joe Morgan at 3. Number 2, I'm gonna go Jackie Robinson, and then number 1, I'm gonna go with Rogers Hornsby.
I'm gonna do something similar to yours. I'm gonna go Joe Morgan, and I'm gonna put Hornsby at 2, and I'm gonna put Robinson at 1.
Really, you're going Morgan number 1.
And I said Jackie at 1.
Oh yeah, you went backwards. My bad.
Yeah. So Morgan 3, Hornsby, Robinson. I'll put Robinson at 1. Just like we said, you can't. I think it's just especially back then. It was just so much harder being a black player in baseball. He putting up the numbers under that much pressure is something that cannot be understated, cannot be spoken about enough. He has a whole fucking number retired from him league wide. He has a whole day. No one talks about Rogers Hornsby ever. So I'm giving the edge to Jackie, you know.
That's fair.
When's the last Rogers Hornsby conversation you had?
Today.
Okay, so there you go. So I hope that everyone watching is enjoying the Rogers Hornsby conversation. You know, not many of them happen, so you got to embrace it when they can. All right, Andrew. Do you have any final thoughts on the second base position?
Yeah. Can we get some top-notch players in these next couple of years? Because I don't know about you, but when we were doing this, there's nobody even really in consideration for like a top 5 guy. Nope. I was saying this to Jose before the show, but at least in some other positions, you know, you could scratch out a guy here and there as a recent guy that we could put in the top 3 or 5 conversation. But really, for second baseman, there's really nobody that's worth talking about in the top 5 for all time.
Really not. Cano is honestly the best one, and steroids twice.
And I mean, I didn't even think about him in top 5, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, he's not top 5. He's just one of those guys that you have to have on there because he's probably the best modern second baseman of all time, or of all time, but the best modern second baseman.
Even with steroid, are you taking Robinson Cano over Jose Altuve?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am because you know I think the power is just so good. You know, prime Cano. He had one of the best swings of all time, too. I love Robinson Cano's swing. I love it so much.
He does have a nice swing.
I love it so much, Andrew. When I used to play like MLB 2K9 or whatever the hell it was, the last like Xbox MLB game when you played in My Player, Robinson Cano was my swing.
Was it really?
Yeah, Robinson Cano and Hanley Ramirez. Hanley Ramirez, so good, too. So good.
I'm trying to remember his swing.
You know, he had a little up here, you know. Yeah, that was awesome. I love Hanley. Shout out to him. Do you have any final thoughts for this week, Andrew? You know, another quick episode. We're getting in and out. We have a couple episodes next week. It's gonna be a fun time.
I'm surprised how well we've kind of been doing at these quick shows. You know, I thought it was gonna be a challenge for us.
No, we are podcast experts. Man.
You've been keeping me top notch. If it wasn't for you, I'd probably be rambling on all the time like usual.
Oh, that's all right. Before we leave, Andrew, you know, we're not at the 30-minute mark, so we'll give some love to other sports. Andrew, what the fuck's going on with the Eagles head coach? What is he doing? Why is he talking that opening press conference? He sounded like Michael Scott.
Hey, it's not. I don't care how he speaks. Like it's not the end of the world.
I knew exactly this was going to be the fucking response.
It's his first time having to be a head coach in a press conference. Of course, he's gonna be a little nervous.
He's like, we're gonna put in the systems that are really simple, but they're gonna be complicated to defenses. But they're gonna be so like, you know. And I was like, what is this guy saying? I don't even know.
Hey, I don't care what he says. If it ends, that's obviously taken to an extent. But hey, if whatever he's doing turns into wins, that's what it matters.
Yeah, we were all making fun of Joe Judge last year, and look at him.
Yeah, what do you guys 6-10?
Oh my goodness! All right, so thank you guys for watching the Puppet Radio Baseball Show. If you're watching us and you're interested in the WWE, Andrew, I know you're a big WWE guy. Go watch Saturday night on the Pub Culture. Yeah, I heard it. You heard that right. Pub Culture radio stream on the YouTube channel. You are going to see a little drawing, a little contest. You can pay $20. You get into the random number generator, and they'll do your thing on Saturday. You get your number, you shake it up. Let's say, Andrew, you get number 12. Then whoever the 12th entry of the Royal Rumble this Sunday, that's your guy, Andrew. That's your guy you want to win, Andrew. And if you win, Andrew, if Andrew Santangelo's guy at number 12 wins, Andrew, and we get 30 participants in this, $450 to the winner, Andrew. $450 if we get all 30 spots filled. So let's get all 30 spots filled. Second place, Andrew, you feel down, your guy doesn't come in first place. You're like, damn, so close. Guess what, Andrew? You're not leaving empty-handed. You're getting $150 for your troubles, too.
I could use $150.
Yeah, so go ahead, guys. We need you guys to sign up, making this a large pot. We need all 30 spots filled. I haven't asked how many spots have been filled so far. So, but get them because they might be going fast, guys. It'll be a fun time. Watch Saturday night. Go get your numbers. Sunday night, enjoy the Royal Rumble. Get some action in there. Andrew, where can people find you at?
People can find me at AJ_Santangelo on Twitter. Other podcasts that I am on are at ANYP Phillies. Is the Twitter handle is called Chase Independent. Philly_Sports Now, Philly Sports Now podcast with my brothers, and True_ Philly Sportcast.
Do your brothers hate me because they still haven't come on the show? I just want to put that out there. By the way,
that's on me since I haven't asked them since I've been home. That's on me.
Classic Andrew. Andrew.
Hey, you give me a week, and I promise I will at least ask.
Okay, but a week from Friday. So I'll be asking you next week. I can't wait.
So you want it on for February? Was it February?
Hey, I want you to ask, and if they say no because they hate me, then we'll figure it out, guys. We'll come out. So thanks everyone for watching. You can follow me at Jose Bouquet. Go follow Pub Culture Radio on YouTube. Get those subscriber numbers up. Go buy yourself a entry for the Royal Rumble this weekend, and don't forget to go get yourself some Built Bars. Get yourself some Dan Uggla forearms.
I was about to say that.
Go get some Built Bars. I know. Actually, I think I know for a fact that Dan Uggla eats Built Bars because of those forearm sizes. It's the only way you could get them that big. So thanks everyone for watching. We'll catch you guys next week.